Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome to the stream. It is Oh My God with Oh My God and Oh My God. We are running a little bit behind today, but that's okay. We're having technical difficulties galore. We're dropping frames. We're having, hey Lilavati, how you doing? We're not quite up to date with with the notifications, and you know, I blame all of this on doom scrolling. The computer needs an update. I just, everything was like glitchy and slow, and everything needs an update. So and Windows, being Windows, makes sure everything doesn't run properly until you go do their update. So we're going to be trying that. If it lets us. So just trying to get the last of the details done. There we go. All right, now we're cooking with gas. I don't know if I said it. Hi Lilavati, welcome to the chat, welcome to the stream. How you doing this fine Thursday? Ooh, barefoot in the camera. Right, so today we are doing Beef Strogonoff 2. I said hi, excellent, excellent. A little bit flustered. Beef Strog 2. So this is a different recipe to the one that we did last time. Shoulder's still unhappy, but otherwise good. Well, as long as it's otherwise good, then we're good. So I'm just going to adjust. Whoa, lots of sound. There we go. That's better. Okay, so you're keen for strog. Oh, you've only had Brazilian style. Brazilian style strog. Okay, here we go. I change up my strog. I have changed up my strog from time to time. I've generally do it with pasta, right? So do the pasta. That's what we're doing today. Occasionally, for something a bit different, I get some nice rice. I make a bed of rice in the plate, and then pour the strog over the rice as a sort of a sauce over the actual. Traditional Russian stroganoff. I don't know. All right, so we'll do traditional Russian. As an idea, there we go. So we'll see. But yeah, so occasionally as a twist, I like putting it on a bed of rice, but most of the time I'm putting it on pasta, which is what we're going to be doing today. So, Zvuchi. I'm butchering that, and I do apologize, but welcome to the chat, welcome to the stream. Right. Shivuchi. Shiv. I will learn these things one day. Okay, so the Brazilian style strog is served with tiny chips. All right, okay, that works. Right, so here we go. Now my freezer was being a bit of a bum, and it's partially frozen the meat, which is a slight problem. And rice. Ah, see, there you go, rice. It's a sauce. You could just put this on anything, eat it by itself, do with it. Yes. Okay. Oh wow. That's how it's written in Russian? That's cool. I would not get shivved from any of those letters. There you go. Huh. This slightly sinister word means one that clings to life. Well, yes, I too enjoy failing at death. Can't really be translated as resilient or tenacious, as the words have positive stoical connotations. One of the most people in history people in history has to have been Rasputin. He really did cling to life, didn't he? Who was poisoned, shot, thrown into the freezing Malaya Nevka River, and yet still had the fight in him to claw at the ice with his fingernails. And then it was like drawn and quartered and burned and, oh God, yeah. They just didn't stop because really didn't like that boy. But yes, I see the difference in what you're trying to get at. He got shot 1 billion times after. And shoot him, and shoot him, and shoot him, and shoot him. And you know what? Shoot him. Yeah. Oh wow, no shit. Stalin personally sent your great-grandfather to Siberia. Wow. I know, Lilavati. I can see it. Someone had to be a guard. Yes. And the fun song's like saying there was a jukebox there, isn't it? No, maybe not. Alright, I'm just going to turn that down a little more. Alright, so today we're making beef strog. We're going to try not and embarrass ourselves in the eyes of our Russian compatriots. Now the pressure's on, alright? I can feel the pressure. The pressure is on. Red for raw meat. No. Yes. Funny cat noises. That's just Buff being an idiot. Andy, sir. Everyone's in here. Alright, so I'm going to go lean for this one. So we're going to chop some of these big thick bits of fat off. Mainly because if you cut it into strips, you're going to end up, that's going to be a strip. Like this, the bits in here, yep. That little bit in there, not overly worried about that. I just want to take the big chunks out. You never know, I might throw them in a fry pan later and just fry up the fat. And then we have to beat it to death. Fry it up, eat it. Person 1, my granddad died in Auschwitz. Person 2, I'm so sorry, person 1. Don't be, he fell off a guard tower. Oh, that's cold. Oh my, ow. Why would you? Yeah. As soon as I saw Auschwitz there, I'm like, oh God. Right, now we need to beat this up a bit. Beating up tool. Alright, so it says to flatten the steak out to about 3/4 of a centimeter. So that's not really a lot of beating for this piece of steak. So we're just going to tenderize it a little bit. Well, that's down to about a centimeter. Gonna call that good enough. Smack the naughty steak. Naughty bad. No, it's not bad, it's just naughty. Yeah, it's about right. We'll start cutting them all up in a minute. Oh, Duskull. How you doing, Rage? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. Rage, should I leave and come back? I've entered an alternate timeline. What is happening? We are beating up steaks. That's what we're doing. We're beating up steaks. Yes, because they're naughty steaks. And naughty steaks deserve to be punished. Alright. I'm using the red one though. Look, Rach, I'm using the red one. Oof. That cat, I swear. Alright. I love sharp knives. Oh. What did you hit? As soon as I say it. Hey Viking, how you doing? Welcome to the chat, welcome to the stream. Just been getting your steaks dialed in lately. Oh, nice. Fire pit adjustment makes it much better with the cast iron griddle. Excellent. This is what we like to hear. Alright. Let's get some order into this. First pile of meat. Yeah. I think I'm gonna chop some of this out. Maybe not. Alright. You should come over and we can do fire and meat and merriness. Look, fire and meat and merriness sounds very much fun. What have you got? I don't know. Here, have some fat. We'll see if they like fat. Yeah, that sounds like a plan, Viking. Flour, salt, and a dash of baking soda to coat. We're not doing coat today. This recipe does not have coat. My other one does. My other one definitely has coat. This one does not. We did this recently with a different recipe as well. The not coating the meat. A Russian without a coat. We're not losing to the Finns. And last but not least, again. Alright, alright. Good thing we got a bit extra so that we could cut all this extra weight. So we could cut the fat. All right. Don't know what I'll do with that. Just threw a gobbet of meat at Bean and it hit her square in the nose. She didn't care. So yeah, this is going to be interesting because I'm used to this one we're doing a light braise of the meat, and then we're doing we're basically simmering the sauce to thick, then re-adding the meat to heat it back up at the end. So, cat. All right. All right, so now it says to give this a light sprinkling of salt and pepper. So doesn't kind of say, it says just put it says give it a pinch of salt and pepper. So, meh. Viking, I just imagine that in 40k World War II Finnish front, two different factions of Imperial Guards, Finns heavily infantry specialists, Snipers Russian heavily leaning on Lehman Rus and Bane blades, but they only partially function, not as many operational as claimed. Yeah, okay. Salt bar humbug, this stream is mediocre. Aww. No pepper, salt cooks, pepper burns. Okay. Salt description of your beard. Well, I like to think it's salt and pepper in the beard. So we're just going to give it a light bit of salt. And just to really annoy everybody, and give it just a light little bit of pepper and see what happens. Because that's what the recipe says. I'm going to give it a little toss. There's some salt over there that you missed, meat. Pick it up. All right. So now, all the juicy goodness. We need another plate to put that on. That'll be fine. That can sit up there. Rinse off the plate, get the meaty juices off it so that we can put the meaty juices back on it. Pepper is to finish. It's more cinnamon sugar. Yeah, there is a reason salt is a literal building block of life. You need salt to live. So, that salt was argued over. Yeah. But it's been around for freaking ever. So's pepper. They actually found pepper in, like black pepper, they found that in the nose of Ramesses. When they found Ramesses, the Egyptian pharaoh's mummy, they found black peppercorns in his nose. And Ramesses was something like, I don't know, something like 3000 BCE. So, yeah. Yes, Lilivati, black peppercorns in the nose would certainly wake you up. Safe, clear. Splash of olive oil, as always. You use the good, the local olive oil. Player in one of your gamer teams years ago named Denatonium, which we didn't realize until later was a rare mineral salt. So his name translated to salty. Nice. Possibly he was, but at the time he was dead, so I didn't think he'd care. Shiv, you know, that's... Well, black peppercorn, yes. Poor cut, probably why he died. Right? Dark Ages is thought to be caused by a lack of salt. Sea rising by 1 to 2 meters meant that established salt plains were underwater. This led to more mined salt in the dreaded salt mines. Okay, that's news. Less salt meant that people couldn't think as clearly. Sure. I'm going to go with the Dark Ages may have had some more sinister connotations, but, you know, maybe that's just me. All right. Where is the? Whoa. Whoa. Finn, you're an idiot. Is the thing you read once? Nice. I'm all for reading. Flip over your buggers. Hot. Hot things are hot. What are you doing hiding in there? May have been a bit much, we will see. So for the record, we are using a Scotch fillet for this. So not a cut that people would usually use. Hot. It's always just quicker to flip it over with your fingers at the beginning. I've turned it down a bit because I don't want to overcook it. Fine. Actually not too worried at this point. A good stroganoff cut. Excellent. Kind of tend to go for like a mouthful of meat is a good start point. Ah. Alright. So there's still a bit of pink there, you'll be able to see that. There's still a bit of pink there, but I'm not too worried about that. It's nicely seared, we can leave that be now. And just let it rest. Let it rest, let the heat do its thing. We'll be fine. Ah, Shiv's in the Pokemon. What'd you get? A Fennekin. Ooh, I'm unfamiliar with a Fennekin. And Shiv cut straight off the bat. Shiv catches the Shinotic. Nice work. A good skirt steak keeps flavor. Fennekin equals mushrooms. Alright, so it's a mushroom Pokemon. Mushroom Pokemon. Speeching, I tell you. Alright, let's get our green board out. Green, red for meat, green for veggies. I will avenge it. I'm now on a quest I want to get all of these chopping boards, all the different colors, just cause. I just want them. We will get there. Right, veggies. Let's get an onion cut up with the onion knife. Ooh, okay. Ah, there it is. We need... Open. We need one of these. We need our compost bin. Now the recipe calls for 1 larger onion or 2 small onions. I'm going with this is probably a large onion. I have a cat full of kitchens. I have a kitchen full of cats. All right. Off. There you go. I have a cat full of kitchens. All right. Oh yeah, we got the shrooms after this. So let's go get. What are you doing, Finn? A little bowl. A bowlie of bowlies. Shinotic equals mushrooms. Ah, fennekin is like a weird fox, ends up as a delphox. Ah, okay, there you go. Nice. One of these days, I'm going to do a strog with caramelized onion. I'm just going to caramelize the crap out of a heap of onions and throw that into the strog and see what it does. Careful talking about kitchens full of cats around a Russian. Meat is getting rare there. Well, you know, they all know they're emergency rations, don't you? Hey? You are emergency rations. Nom 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 nom. Nah, see, I live right on the edge of the Adelaide Hills. So I've literally had a kangaroo hopping down my driveway. And so, you know, and I have all sorts of fun bows and arrows and things. So yeah, food is not going to be a scarce thing for me. Best thing you ever took camping was a large container of properly caramelized onions. We put that on everything. Caramelized onions on toast, breakfast. It's actually really nice. Katie, a group of people going to a bush doof because they care about eating nice things. Right? Yes. Bush doof. So long ago, I remember bush stuffs. Where's the mushrooms? Found them. Alright, we're going to need a bigger bowl for the shrooms. Shroom bowl. Alright. Shroomy shrooms. I don't know if there's like a proper way to cut shrooms or anything, but because I'm not a fan of shrooms, to be honest. This is one of the few ways I actually eat mushrooms, is in a strog. Alright, so let's try this. I'm going to try popping all the stems out. We're going to keep them. We're going to keep the stems in. But I'm going to pop the stems out. And perhaps that will make it a bit easier to cut. Skeggy may have been willing to eat cold soup straight from the can, but I'm not. Look, I can. There is a lot of foods that I can eat, and there is a lot of foods that, you know, a lot of prepared, like, you know, cold soup in a can. There are a number of things that, if the need arises, sure, we can do that. The the willingness to do so is extremely low. So before I go too far with this, I should probably just find out if, you know, this is actually going to help me in the cutting process. Halving the stems is okay. Oops. Maybe thirding that one, because, you know. What? Did I make a pun? Oh no. What was the terrible pun I made? I don't even remember. Like shrooms, for example. There's no reason I can't eat shrooms. I just not a fan overall. Oh God. Oh no, no, no. Yes, that I glare at myself for said pun. That oh. Just a whole pile of no. Bad Ulrich. It's kind of seemed to work a bit better. I suppose we don't have to be too careful about the mushrooms because they shrink like buggery once you cook the water off them. No! Stop it! Cutting the shrooms. You can get pre-cut shrooms at my supermarket. you can get pre-cut shrooms. Same button mushrooms, same everything. As far as I'm aware, the same bloody grower. But for picking up the mushrooms yourself, just on the whole and putting them in a bag, it's $14 a kilo, something like that. But if you want them either in a sorted into 200-gram packages, either whole or sliced, it goes up to $25 a kilo. And I'm like, yes, I'm going to spend the time on stream chopping up. But that said, if you don't have time, if you don't have a lot of time, just buy a 200-gram pack of mushrooms. We're putting in 300 into this, but just buy a 200-gram box of mushrooms, and you're done. You open the box, you put it in the thing, and you're finished. Right? You don't have to worry about the length of time that we're spending here chopping it up. It just means that you're going to pay a little bit more for that convenience. And again, totally up to you. I wonder if I turn it over the other way, if that helps. Oh, look at that. Right, so I have been cutting the mushrooms top side down on the ground. I just flipped it over so that the stem bit was on the bottom. And yeah, that seems to be the way. There you go, live and learn, right? What do we got? Oh, a skidoo, a skiddy. Let's see if we can catch a skiddy. Yeah, it's fine. They were thoroughly washed. Whoops, that's not the right command. Oh, I have a skidoo. Nice. Shrooms, glorious shrooms. Right, chopping away, chopping away. Okay, that's the first batch. We're good. Yep, here we go. Next batch. 3 left. Oh, okay, yeah. What's the UK grumpy about now, Lilivati? That the EU kicked them out? Islas Malvinas. EU signs deal using Falklands Argentine name. Okay. The Argentina is what the Argentinians call it, and the Falklands is what the UK call it. Is that? Oh no, I'm yes. I understand the Falklands War. Well, most of it, briefly. But what I'm getting at is, does England and Argentina have different names for it? Because I was unaware that they did. Means the UK invading the Falklands in '82 is like, what? Yeah, well, that's gonna hurt some soldiers. But if that's the traditional name that the traditional people that live there call it that. Never had an issue with that. Oh, okay. So the English name is the Falkland Islands, and the Spanish name is Islas Malvinas. Huh, there you go. It's the war where Thatcher had... Yeah, yes. Yes, yes. They had a lot of ground troops there too. It was the last recorded bayonet charge. Was in the Falklands. It got a lot of Englishmen killed. The EU is recognised in the Spanish name despite it being officially British. Well, you know, Spain is part of the EU. Britain isn't. Oh, a quote from the statement. The UK is not part of the EU. They are upset by the use of the word Malvinas. I apologise for butchering the Spanish language. If they were in the EU, perhaps they would have pushed back against it. Yeah. Well, you wanted your little Brexit, and now you got it. And for some reason, don't ask me why, but the allied nations in the conglomerate of which you are not a part are being nicer to each other than they are to the people who aren't part of the deal. I wonder how that works. I can't imagine. Ooh, Shiv. That's cold. No, but you see, winning the game is not in the spirit of the game for them. Winning is just not in the spirit of the game. That's cold, you're from Russia. It's just natural. It was actually, I was in Nepal and there was a couple of Russians there and they had, I don't actually know what it was, but it was basically, as far as I could tell, it was cured fat. And oh my God, it tasted freaking amazing. And you've just like, that's cold, just sent me back to that memory. Salo? Yeah, maybe. All right, Salo goes on the list. Let's look up Salo. Because that could be fun. Let's make some cured fat. It's raw cured pig fat. Yes, that. Okay, so it's Salo. Nice. Oh no, closest thing to bacon, ironically, it's Ukrainian in origin. Wow. Okay. Yep. So, Salo. I'm going to have to look up Salo. So many things. This is cool. I'm getting so many different ideas today. Thank you, everyone. You are awesome. This is making me very happy, getting all these food ideas. If you were watching Warframe last night, one of the guys, Physio, that I play with, he's got a whole heap of recipes that he's going to send me as well. So that's like, oh my God. And then I've got the cookbook. We'll talk about the cookbook in a bit. I've got a new encyclopedia of cooking. And it's like freaking my brain out. It's like, I've been looking through this book, you know, just flipping through it as you do while you're doing the million other things that you do in the day. And I'm finding that I've tried flipping through it a couple of times, and it's not a book you can just flip through. This is going to be, okay, insert block O time to sit and actually read this book. So that's going to be amazing. Shiv, no wonder the idiots invaded. Stand with Ukraine. Uh-huh. From the peripheral knowledge I have of it, I know why Russia did it, but I don't agree with it. Oops, meat. Ooh, smell that gas. I should probably light the gas before I, start huffing it. All right, butter. Now, the Rec Ibe calls for 40 grams of butter. So, that looks about 40 grams to me. But leaving politics alone, not the channel for it. Channel is for delicious food. I know, right? Look, Shiv, honestly, there is more than enough stuff that the Australian government have done that make me ashamed to be an Australian. So, not quite on that scale, thankfully. But yeah, look, there is still stuff. Like, for example, detention centres. Not recognising Indigenous Australians as human beings until 1973 or 72. That was a big one. Now we're getting all the rednecks coming out of the woodwork for this whole voice thing. Yeah. Anyway, food. Food. What are we doing? We are medium high, add butter, cook onions, add shrooms, scrape it all off the bottom. Okay, the flour goes in at that point. Alright, so let's go. Medium heat. Now it's really interesting, when you're using a thick base pan, right, I've found if you're using something, a thin base pan or something like that, and you medium heat is literally that. It's about halfway between max and minimum. That's medium, right? I find with really thick base pans, once you get them up to temperature, you can put it on medium heat and get it up to temperature, but then it kind of gets beyond what you would usually cook with in medium heat if you're using shitty pans. So you really actually do need to turn it down a bit, because the heat that stays in the pan, you're not trying to keep that heat up. You don't have to compensate for that anymore. So you can actually turn your stovetop down a little bit more than you normally would if you're going for medium heat. Woohoo! Onions flying everywhere. Yeah, Viking, that's true. Putin's gonna Putin. Look, this is why I would like to see. I would also like to see a youth voice in Parliament. I don't know. Maybe they've already got one that's got no power, but because old people tend to look after just themselves because it's coming to their end of their lives and they're more focused on themselves. Whereas, you know, mid-range people, say, you know, 30 to 40, that's that time when people are actually looking to help and help. Maybe a bit younger, 25. Yeah, you should be nervous about that, Shiv. No, there's no wine in this one. There's definitely no wine in this one at all. Which is weird, I know. It says to put the onions in there for a minute, but I want them more. I want to do it more. Alright, let's put the shrooms in. Shrooms, glorious shrooms. And they are just going to suck all that butter up. Yeah, T had the perfect one when Tony Abbott was in power. She said that if his face was on fire, she'd put it out with a fork. Aha. What did I just do? I thought I dropped something, but it doesn't look like I did. Okay, and now we cook the shrooms until the shrooms are golden. Golden. Fully okay to drop in the voting age to 16. As long as they don't make it mandatory at 16. If they leave the mandatory 18, but if you really want, you can vote at 16. I can get behind that. If they're making it mandatory at 16, I don't think they should. Ooh, stinky! Stinky mushrooms! Think of the mass of the pan as a thermal battery. Yeah, exactly, Viking. The age of criminal responsibility? Yeah, if you're old enough to be tried as, if you're old enough to go to adult jail, sure, why not? I think maybe I should have cut some of these mushrooms a bit smaller, but live and learn. Alright, they are starting to look golden. We're going to take that off the heat for a sec while I figure out what I'm doing next. So in some states 11. You could have done more. The recipe isn't the boss of you. Oh God. No, Shiv. No, we are not finding a young Bob Catter. Stop it. Fire up. Oh, good. That's good, Lilavati. No mandatory voting until adulthood. That's good. Okay. So now we are putting in 2 tablespoons of flour. Is this what? Hang on. Add flour, cook stirring for 1 minute. Okay. So we need 2 tablespoons of flour. So there is flour in this. It's just, cat. It's just not on the meat. A young liberal catter. Stop it, Shiv. You're making me hurt. Alright. I don't know how this is meant to work, but here we go. I'm going to put it through a sieve just because it's hurting me not to. Ah! Okay, and yes, it calls for 2 tablespoons, and you just saw me put in 4, but this one is a half. That's only a half tablespoon measure, so because my full tablespoon measure is poof, gone. Finn, that is not the place to sit. Seriously. There is a cat. Look. There's a Finn. Say hello, Finn. Hello, everybody. I am Finn. I am so cute. Look at me. Hello. Right. swinging around carelessly like an animal. Okay, well, that's turned that into sludge. Hello, sludge. Turned it into sludge. Cook it for a minute. If it fits, it sits. Right? Yes. Yes, fin is properly prepared. Absolutely. Using a sieve, properly done. Excellent. Thank you, Shiv. Thank you. Gentlemen, this is democracy manifest. He has my vote. Platform of succulent Chinese meals and parts improperly grabbed. I thought that was Trump. Ah! Or his cat are up to improper grabbing as well. Crash, bang, boom! Right, what's next? Quick! Add half the broth while stirring. Once incorporated, add remaining broth. Here's some broth I prepared earlier. It's very sad. I've got to get off my butt. I might get off my butt this weekend and make a whole heap more beef broth, because there is no beef bone broth in the house. Brr, brr, brr. Boo! You had true love and you left it. Boo! Okay, here we go. I kind of don't want to stir this too much, but we're gonna have to. Alright, well, that's actually thickening up quite quickly, which, you know, is what the flour's in there for, but you usually put it on the meat for that. So, well, there you go. Alright, I was a bit worried about that. I was a bit worried there, just right at the start. It looked really odd, but it's thickening up into a sauce, so here we go. Oh no, Shiv needs to Strogonoff. No! Thanks for coming in. Thanks for hanging out, Shiv. Great to have you here. This late have meetings have to be presentable. Fair. Thank you. I hope you have success in whatever you are doing in the next until we see you again. So, good to have you in. Thanks. Alright, let's get the rest of this stock in. That is a lot of stock. Yeah! Now, that was, yes, that is a 1 litre thing of stock, but it was only half full. So, which gives us 500 ml of stock, which is what we wanted to put in here. And now we just let this thicken up. That is very watery right now, but heat time, it'll thicken up just fine. So, right, so now we put in it is the cream that has gone sour. It has been around a thunderstorm and turned into sour cream. I don't know why I'm doing this in a ridiculously shitty French accent, but I am. Ah! No! Stop it! Go away, ad! Boo! Okay. Let's All right, so that was Cyberpunk. Let's go to some chill. Let's go to some chill synthwave. There we go. I know it's technically not the bowl. It's technically licking the lid. But it takes me back to my childhood. It really does, because I'm old. And when I was little, we had the milk bottles with the caps with the cream in them. Then many years later, my local, when I was posted in Brisbane at the time with 89RAR, and there was a little corner deli just outside the base, and they started selling the bottles with the metal caps and then licking the cream off the caps. And that was like, I told a few people, and they literally, the shop couldn't get enough of it because everyone just kept buying it to put it in their rooms, and it was amazing. And so licking the tinfoil lid, getting the sour cream off it, just tweaked those memories. Who knew? All right, enough of that. Let's put the sour cream in here. There you go. 10. That came out clean. There is, look at that. There is, whoop, hang on. Dash cam's gone again. Hang on. Top cam. Are we working? No. Hey, there we go. All right. There is nothing left in that. That just came out in one whole, just done. There's a bit of juice down the bottom, and that's it. All right. Now that's starting to look like the colour of beef stroganoff, which is nice. Definitely smells like beef stroganoff. Oh, there was a whole bit that hadn't been combined yet. Right, now, I don't know if you can see it in that or not. Probably not. Let's see if we can get this up to, ow, 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 hot things are hot. All right, so I don't know if you, when it focuses, hopefully, focus. It's not gonna focus. Damn you, focus. Anyway, there are little white dots in it. And don't worry about the little white dots. That's just sour cream that hasn't quite combined yet. But as it heats, it will melt into the whole thing. But if you don't know what you're looking for, if I didn't know, I would say that the cream had curdled, because this is what curdled milk looks like. And it's not curdled milk, so we're fine. So now we're going to heat this up, and we're going to reduce it a bit. So, on that note, I need a short break, and I'll be back. Thanks, Viking. So all of that, poof, gone. And we're back. Got this nicely bubbling away. Right, so, God, now I've got to remember everything I just said. No, it was me. I had it turned off. It was me. Because when I go to the just chatting screen in here, in the cooking streams, the mic is still on, so I have to turn it off manually. Whereas on the other streams, I just flick the microphone up on the headset and we're good. So, reducing the sauce. We are reducing the sauce to thicken it up because we tend to like a bit of a thicker sauce in this house. If you want it to thicken up a bit quicker, instead of just reducing it like we're doing here, you can always sieve in a bit more flour, and that will congeal it up, make it a bit thicker. And the thickness of the sauce on this is however you want to do it. If you like it really runny, then do it really runny. If you like it really thick, do it really thick. I tend, if I'm going to put it on rice, I tend to do the sauce a bit thinner, because then that way it soaks into the bed of rice and it flavors the rice as you eat. Whereas on pasta, I like it to cling onto the pasta as it comes out of the bowl, so I tend to do it a bit thicker for doing it with pasta. It's entirely up to you. It's entirely your preference. Do what you want. All right, so we're also going to cook the pasta. Speaking of which, we use this stuff. Casarisi. Bloody Australians. We use a lot of this in the house because it goes with everything. It tastes freaking awesome and norms. So we've got the water on. We've got a bit of salt in the water, which we learned last week helps us take a breath, which helps us helps the pasta absorb the water. So we'll get that on the boil. So I am cheating a little bit. I filled the kettle up with hot water, and we are going to just pour that in to get it going a bit faster for the pasta water. That's now got a lot of water in it, but you know. Whoo, yep, hot things are. All right, that's still got a bit of heat in it, which is nice. While we're doing that, now, also, if your sauce gets a bit thick, okay, so if this part gets a bit thick, you can add a splash more broth, you can add a splash of water, whatever you want, because as we're bringing it down, as we're reducing it, basically all we're doing is getting rid of the water. We're keeping all the flavor in there, we're just getting rid of the water. So if it gets a bit thick, add a little bit of water, stir it in. Still too thick, add a little bit more. It's always easier to just add little bits rather than add too much and realize that, oh God, I've overcooked it, I've over splashed it, now I've got to spend another 20 minutes reducing it again. Yeah, it's just, you probably can't see it on stream, but it's starting to get just that thick enough to leave a little, an ever so slight trail in the pan. So that's almost where I want it for the thickness I like. So, but we can get to that. So now we sit around and wait for the water to boil. And then we throw the pasta in for 10 minutes or so. I probably should have put the water on earlier, but that's okay. Reduce, reduce. Can we recycle? Let's find out. Are you recyclable? Pretty sure that's a yes. It says, the recycle says check locally, and I'm 90% sure that those, the South Australia has the process to remove all the different layers of those boxes. So I'm going to put it in the recycling and hope. Might have to check on that a bit later. Alright, so come on, boil. We've got some little bubbles down the bottom, so we're getting there. It's on flat. Oh, yep, hang on. Yeah, that's on flat, chat. Now, I don't know if you can see, but this is the knob for the burner for this, and you can see that it's bubbling away nicely, right? And that is set to absolute minimum. That right now, this is the lowest that flame can go. I've got it on the big burner, sure, but it is still, this is just simmering away at the oh yeah, that's starting to get nice. It's just simmering away on the lowest setting. I can put it on a smaller burner if I really need to, but meh. Bubbles. Bubbles. My bubbles. Alright, so hurry up. Be boiled, water. Be boiled. We have so much food in the house. So much good food. It is nice. My lifestyle has been getting a bit away from eating good food, mainly because everything I'm doing, and I've done it to myself. Don't get me wrong, but it's all the things I've got going on, and it's starting to slide towards eating crappier food. It's good that the majority have finally been awakened to the recycling scam, in that most isn't. Yeah, I love to see the manufacturers be also responsible for dismantling and recycling their packaging. Yeah. I don't think I would call it the recycling scam. I agree that less gets recycled than we think it does, but I definitely not going to call it a scam, because recycling is what we need to do to get by. We're running out of oil. We're running out of plastics. Plastics doesn't freaking disintegrate. And it's like, the second we run out of oil, we are. Because I'd probably say around 80 to 90% of lifestyle in Australia is based in oil. That's the scam. Like, no, we've got plenty of oil, don't worry about it. Yeah, it's fine, don't worry. Yeah, just keep consuming you. Yeah. Like, no, stop it. Yeah, we're starting to get a little trail of pan behind the spatula there, which is nice. I don't know if you could see that on stream, but we are. Oops. I'm eating a lot better since I signed up for those meal boxes. Yeah, those meal boxes are pretty crazy. Being money poor and time rich, I get to cook. But yeah, if you've got more money than you've got time, they're a great alternative. Maybe the real scam is the friends we made along the way. It's improving, but many years of the mentality of advertising it as recyclable, and they knew most of it wouldn't. Yeah. Oh look, absolutely. And yeah, I agree. The percentage of recycled stuff appearing on the market is improving. The recycling technology is improving. But it's the whole. I think that getting the human shift, getting our thinking into that more. We need to reuse stuff. We can't just keep grabbing, trashing. That change is so important at this point in human history. It is so incredibly important. So, it was especially great when I didn't have a car because buying groceries with public transport is annoying. Yes, it is. Which is why a lot of them do deliveries now. Which again, I kind of see the point of, but it's one of those things that. Now, here we go. This is a controversial opinion. Who knew I had these? I think that we are making it too easy to stay at home and avoid social. Is the best short form of the idea. I understand that there are people that don't like social. I get that. Okay, fine. There are people that really love social. They're each end of the scale, if you will. But there's those people in the middle that could be social, could not be social, and I think that those people it's a lot easier for them to go, I'm not going to be social, and not be social. So Viking, breaking the 15% barrier of awareness, then you get actual action. Yeah, we are the 5% of weird nerds. Well, about a year, but delivery is $15, and during business hours while I work, an Uber home from the shops was about 10. Oh wow. Delivery of the box with nearly everything I need was 11. Okay, wow. I did not know that, Lilivati. Thank you. But the filter of communication styles via internet versus in person, it is. But I would also argue that there's a lot more misunderstandings in on social media, and because 90% of any communication, no matter what language you use, is tonal inflection and body language, right? So it's one of those things. There's never going to be a correct answer for everybody. That's just never going to happen, right? So don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to just fit people into random boxes that they don't fit in. I'm just saying that this is a trend that I happen to be seeing, I seem to be seeing, where people that could go one way or the other in the middle of the scale are tending towards introvert because it's easier. Seriously, come on, Viking, is anyone neurotypical anymore? I don't think they are. I don't think there is a neurotypical anymore. Yeah, while there are ways to convey tone over the internet, in person has different challenges. Yeah. Eh. I also go slightly crazy without some. Well, you have. Yeah. I go utterly insane without physical touch. I was in a very, very bad place when COVID began. And probably for the first year of it. My mental health was freaking horrible. And without trying to be nasty, but it was not made better by all the memes being posted by introverts going, suck shit, extroverts. So the reason I'm stirring this so often is because it tends to get a little film on the top of it if you leave it too long. So I'm just keeping it moving that little bit, just to stop that film forming. It's fine. You can just let it sit there and it'll form that film, and then you give it a little bit of a stir and it'll soak right back in. Not an issue at all. But even neurodiverse who like their internet comms need to practice in real life. Yeah. Compared to some of my friends, I am less neurodivergent, and some of my neurodivergence is I was born with, like my dyslexia and stuff like that. A lot of it is environmental. I've had 8 knockout concussion events that I can remember. PTSD is not a fun thing to live with. So, you know, there are both of those people. You know, you get people that are born with ADHD or ADD or any of those others that they're born with it, and that can be a lot harder for them. Absolutely, it can. I think that we're starting to get a much better level of support for those people, though, especially than what was about in my day, which I think is really good. Like trying to go through school as an undiagnosed dyslexic was freaking an insanely horrible experience. So I can only imagine what it would be like for someone like, even if they just managed, luckily, that the first lesson of the day, they were able to hyper-focus on that one, and then changing up to 6 different lessons in a day and not being able to focus in any of them, or even worse, not being able to focus in any lesson at all. That's got to be freaking horrible. But there is at least a lot more knowledge about it and ways to help. There's a lot more help for those sort of people out there, which I think is freaking excellent, and we need to keep that up. Alright, there's that one in. Yeah, lockdown sucked for most people. Yeah, absolutely. No, not football. Cross-country ballet. Yeah, I get pissed off by the "I'm superior because I don't go out to parties" memes. It's not a moral thing. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's no more. That is no more acceptable than, you know, all you need to go out and that'll make you better. Those memes are just as fucking bad. Oh, sorry. Those memes are just as bad. I said a naughty word. Oh, 10 half push-ups. There you go. You want to read at home, great, but I like nightclubs, and screw you for acting superior because you don't. Yeah, absolutely. Alright, this is starting to thicken up really nicely. So I'm going to take this off the heat for just a bit. Once the pasta's cooked, we'll turn the heat back on, we'll throw the meat in, and we'll be good with it. At the moment, that'll thicken up a little bit more just as it sits there. It's you can just see sort of there, you can just see the steam coming off. So that's going to continue to thicken up, no problem. Oh yeah, I went out the other week and some old gamers, the Lost Dice on King William Street, Grace Place. Oh yeah, great place. Lots of board game, card game, beers and munchies. Nice, that's what we like to see. I think also people like me, high functioning ADHD autism. Now that I know, now that you know, yeah, right. I seem to be a good coach for younger people in the same boat. Well, look, when you can say to someone, yeah, dude, I know exactly how you feel because this exact thing happened to me, and here's what I did to help me get around it. Because let's face it, you're not over it. You never get over it. But you know, you've found a way around it that can help you out a heap, so that's good. Morning.
Smell it.
You can smell the beef strog. Do you want beef strog for breakfast?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Alright, I'll let you know when it's ready.
What are you doing, Ziggy? Are you fueling up to piss on the floor more, hey?
Ziggy. Yeah, so it's always good, you know, if you can go, yes, I've had that experience and here's how it helped me. Then yeah, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you pass that out? So if some of us work in education and training and medical, then we had the chance of spotting and helping the young ones. Absolutely. But then you've also got the thing of like teachers are being taught to recognize the signs. You know, like, oh, young Ulrich writes and always mixes up puts his E's and C's backwards, or you know, he'll write all the right letters but never in the right order. It's like, well, he's probably dyslexic. Yeah. And they learn to recognize it, and it's not like when I was a kid, it was just, you're dumb. That's literally what it was. It was, you are dumb, you can't learn, go do dumb people things. Which is why it was horrible. So yeah, it was, but now they're trained to recognize it. It's like, oh look, Ulrich's doing all these. He's probably dyslexic. Here's the things we can do to check and make his learning life easier. You know, that stuff is there now, which is awesome. I think is really good. PG-13 movies get one F word. You should also get one per stream. Yeah, but you know, if I'm gonna get sort of at people and you know, don't do that. Besides, Viking used it up earlier. I think Shiv used one up as well. And can confirm Lost Dice is great. Okay. Hence coach. Yeah, absolutely, Viking. I'm still salty that no one noticed my dyslexia because I could read. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, look, even to this day, spell check is so my friend. It's so incredibly my friend. Yes, it is a normal Aussie word. See, I used to read a lot of graphic novels because a little bit of word, a lot of pictures, and my brain could cope with that. So the teachers always saw that as you just read cartoons. And again, that didn't tell them anything. So that got me in trouble as well, because I found a way that I could do these things, that my brain accepted. And then they told me that I'm not allowed to do that anymore. But that said, it is really good that teachers are now aware of it. It's a whole different, kettle of fish, basically. Where did I put the stirrer? There it is. All right. Hot things are hot. Oh, God ram it. Chop cam. Get back on. Now they know so much more, but not paid proportionally to that knowledge. Yeah, well. That's not ready yet. Whoop. Millavati, I find comics harder to read because of the all caps. Yeah, right. I actually find that easier. Probably also because it's a little bigger and they didn't figure out I needed glasses until I was, I don't know, 10, maybe 11 before I got my, no, it had to be younger than that. Probably about 7 or 8, I reckon. 7 or 8 before they realized I needed glasses to be able to see as well. So that sort of all caps reading made it easier for me as well. You read fast. I can't do that. I can't speed read. It's horrible. Give me all caps and I slow down by about half. Oh, wow. Yeah, right. Okay. There you go. I couldn't read comics much because it didn't flow right for me, but I would smash out fantasy and sci-fi novels in a few a week. Right, so my teacher said at one point, I'm reading the graphic novels, and the teacher said, well, if you don't stop reading cartoons and read a real book, you're going to fail English. And this was at Marryatville High, so that was probably first go round at year 9, give or take. And so I went and I just looked randomly at the shelves and saw a big thick book, and I went and I picked it up and I started reading it, and God, it was a nightmare. It was the first book of the First Chronicles of Thomas Covenant. So yeah, Marryatville's, I don't know, I heard recently that it hasn't changed, but that it's basically a public school that's trying to be a private school. But yeah, and I spent the better part of a week, every spare second I had, trying to read this book. That's where I started. That said, that was the book that got me into sci-fi, or that got me into fantasy, which then led to more fantasy, to sci-fi, to all sort of stuff. That was what did it. So while at the time I considered that teacher incredibly cruel, in the long term, and many years later, and a bit of unboxing, they did me a favor, because that's what led me down the path of sci-fi, fantasy, and all that. So if only you'd grab Magician next to it. Yes, I still have trouble with Magician. I can't read it, but I'm gonna try some of those bigger books that I had a lot of trouble with trying to read it, but I'm starting to look at some of these older books that a lot of people love, by authors like Feist and oh crap, he did the Discworld series, and anyway, trying those two, and but doing them as audiobooks. Pratchett, Terry Pratchett. Thank you, Lillibug. So yeah, that's because so many people. I mean, there are books that I disagree with people on that I was not a fan of the writing or whatever, but these big books that so many of my friends that also like similar books to me really enjoyed, and I'm like, was it a dyslexia thing, or was it just shitty writing that I didn't like? So at this point, I've got to err on the side of it was probably dyslexia. Pratchett! Nice catch, little buddy. Got Farfetch. You can help me there. I have it all memories. And yes, you have the audiobooks. Ah, nice. Nice. A Court of Thorn. Hang on. Lilivati, I'm listening through the A Court of Thorns and Roses. Okay. Who wrote it? What's it about? Tell me. Alright, these are starting to look a bit more floopy. So let's find out. It's like 3 more minutes. Right, so we're going to reheat the sauce. Now you can see, look at that. That's really just thickened up. You can see that that's leaving the trail of pan. It's got that little skin on top, but we'll just work that back in. That won't be an issue. Then we're going to chuck the meat back in for a couple of minutes, and then we're done. Then we can serve. Take you off. Yes, that correct off button. Ta-da! So, random pouring tip. Usually you don't pour towards yourself when you're pouring out boiling water. I know I just did. Alright, let's see if Rachel's method works. Al dente! Nope. Not with this pasta. Alright. So now we want to leave this in just long enough to finish heating the meat. And it'll get a little bit more colour on it. It'll also thicken the sauce a tiny bit. If for no other reason than, you know, you're putting more heat through it. And now we're going to put some more salt and pepper in it. So that's in here. Feel free to. Alright. Beef jerky. Gotta love beef jerky. Whoop, that's God, why is that starting to sizzle? It's like, oh, because I've got the heat right up. Dilbert. Thick sauce. Okay, it's a fantasy romance series. The first book is a retelling of the story of Tam Lin. Okay, I'm unfamiliar with Tam Lin. But the audiobooks are well read. The protagonist is only occasionally annoying, and it's a compelling plot. Ooh, nearly done with book 3 of 5. Okay, nice. I'm currently, because it's just almost ingrained in my system now, I'm currently redoing the Cradle series. So, because I run out of credits. I keep running out of credits for audiobooks. Alright, so just going to give that a little more time. Tam Lin, Scottish tale of a woman saving a shape-shifting warrior from the Fairy Queen. Ooh, okay. Remember that SA Libraries has audiobooks, which is what okay. Yeah, right. I keep forgetting about that. Like, even audiobooks, just the invention of audiobooks makes someone like me's life so much freaking easier. It really, really does. Oh my God. That would have to be the tenderest meat that I've ever had in a beef strog. Wow. Okay. No, we're not doing that. We're doing this. My brain just went into like, holy crap, what the hell happened? Alright, let's stir that in. Oh, there you go. There's that aromatic. That's what we want to see. Oh, there's still, wow, there's still a bit more of a, also both hungry and jealous. Well, I'm starting to get a little bit of heat from not only you on a Tuesday night, so there may have to be some Monday cooking to bring to training. All right, let's go. Good enough. Fork or spoon? Not listening. Alright. I think I'm going to go with a fork for this one. Grubs up! Right? Just snacky things. Well, there is the beetroot pickled eggs. They need to come out. The pecan pie has been requested. I'm definitely going to do another batch of jerky. Right, that gets turned off. So, you know, there's stuff that I can bring. Pie! Pie! Hey, women! Get in the kitchen and bake me some pie! Right. Make with the photo. That's better. That's a better photo. Alright. That's going to be this weekend. It's going to be updating all of the, updating the recipes, hopefully. Alright. Just had a... Ah! Can you hear me now? Hello? Hello, 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 hello. In theory, mine says that I'm playing. How does it taste? Let's find out. Freaking hot. Nom, nom, nom. Gonna add just a teeny bit of salt. Stir that in, because I'm a salt nut. So when I'm cooking, the food itself, I would rather fall a little bit short on the salt and pepper scale, so that people don't necessarily have to, like, because you can't take it out. You can't take salt and pepper out, but you can always add a bit more. So I prefer to err on the side of there's not quite enough salt and pepper, and people add that little bit more rather than go nuts with the salt grinder because I love salt. Now you can't taste anything unless it's curry. Has anyone got a poppadom the size of Lake Michigan? Oh, this is really, really nice. I reckon I could possibly have made the sauce just a little bit thicker. It is like there is a real background mushroom flavor to this that surprisingly I'm not hating. I know that's a double negative, but I don't mind it. It's not overpowering. It's there. So either a bit more butter at the start, and get more of that butter flavor into the mushrooms, or a little less mushroom, or maybe even a slightly thinner sliced mushroom might do it as well. But that's up to your personal taste. I mean, I'm not an overly huge fan of mushrooms, so I find ways around it. Yeah, that mushroom is definitely a texture in this. You can definitely tell when you're chewing into the mushrooms as well. So yeah, Viking. It is that. I normally don't like mushrooms, but this is okay. Yeah, very much so. I'm just going to sit around eating this. Yeah, this is tasty. I'm happy with this. We will definitely be licking this bowl. But even the sauce has got a real mushroom flavor. If you don't get any mushrooms, in a forkful, you've still got that tang in the sauce. I learned a while back one secret of mushrooms is that the texture doesn't really change no matter how long you cook it, but the flavor does. Yeah. Mushrooms will absorb the flavor they're in, which is fine. But maybe these mushrooms were a bit fresher in the shops as well, and they've got a bit more oomph to them because they're a bit fresher. I mean, fresh ingredients always have that, so. And that's what I'm saying, Viking. If in the initial process you put a bit more butter into it and get them to absorb more of that butter flavor, you could change the dish. But look, if you like the taste of mushrooms, this is the way to do it. That said, someone who really likes mushrooms may not be getting the taste sensation that I am out of this. Who knows? Everyone cook it and let me know. Om nom nom. So, right, this is literally breakfast for me. I've been up since about 9 o'clock, so 4 hours. This is breakfast. And you can see I'm almost through this small bowl of it, and I'm already starting to go, ooh, bit full. And Lilavati's back from the ad break. Excellent. Which things? If you mean the recipes and such, they will eventually be going up in Discord. And there is the link to the Discord. That's probably going to be this weekend. I need to really catch up with the videos that I've been putting up for the Lick the Bowl show, and I need to get the recipes up in the Discord so that they're there. So that's going to be, I think, a fair portion of my weekend this weekend. Nom nom nom. Done. Haha. Now, this is not kosher for a restaurant. You know, drinking soup from the bowl, yes. Running your finger all around in it? You're off for errands and food. Yeah, we're pretty much done with stream today. We're going to sign off shortly. And once I finish licking the bowl. Tasty. Now, if I'm a cook, right, or a chef is cooking for me, that is the highest compliment I can give a chef. Is you literally clean out the bowl. Now, if you're at a restaurant or whatever, you get a bit of bread and you soak it up or however you do it, but you send an immaculately clean bowl back to the kitchen. That should tell the chef something. Should. All right, so, starting to get a sweat on back here. That's not bad for it being God knows what minimum temperature outside. All right, so there we go. There is Beef Strog version 2. Lick the plate clean, nom nom nom. Exactly, right? That's high praise right there. If I'm cooking for anyone and they send me back a deglazed plate or bowl or whatever, it's like there is nothing left, I'm like, yes, okay, I win. Means I did good. So yes, all right, well, that is today's stream. I'm going to turn the music down. Boink. There we go. Nice and abrupt. Pow. We can take that off. Let's turn that camera off. There we go. So, ta-da! Compliments to the chef. No one gives compliments. I do. I specifically go out of my way to do so if it is an excellent meal. I will either, if there's one of those like you can see through to where the chefs are, I'll be like, I will deliberately walk up there and I will go, thank you, chef, that was an awesome meal. If not, I will, and it's an awesome meal, I will make sure that the waitress or server or waiter or whatever, I go, look, could you go back into the kitchen and tell the cooks that this was freaking awesome? And a lot of them, it's funny because a lot of them are like, sure. And then they wander off, poke their head in the kitchen, and they're obviously telling the chef. And then they come back out and they've got this big smile on their face. And it's like, excellent, excellent. Too busy chowing down and making appreciative noises. Look, yes. Yes. Can't talk, eating. If I do this and you get eaten beef strog, it's all your fault. Hello, Finn. You like being there, don't you? Bloody cat. Oof, so we didn't have a dry ginger ale today. I may have to have a dry ginger ale later. But we have lots more work to do today, off stream. At restaurants, yeah, absolutely. So we didn't do the plug. So Music Bar Carl Casey at White Bat Audio. Go check out White Bat Audio on YouTube. That's the music we always use. And that's pretty much what they ask. They just ask to be recognised that that you are using their music. So I'm gonna have to go out and see what new stuff they've got. So yeah, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, that was the stream. We're done. We're finished. We've cooked. We've eaten. No, we're not hungry. We're no longer hungry. So upcoming in the week, tomorrow we have something dark side. Valheim. We'll be back with Valheim with Warden. And then we go all the way around to Tuesday, where we will hopefully be finishing off Zork Nemesis. Might end up being a short stream, we'll see. But the week after that, we'll be starting Zork Grand Inquisitor. So that will be the 3 Zork series. 3 of the Zork series done. After that, we'll see what happens. Wednesday, we're back to Warframe. Thursday, we're back to cooking. And that's the week ahead. Upcoming events. We have some upcoming events, special events. We have found a new place that may supply us iron ore. So when Apron Boy and I get together, when he's got some time off of work, we'll get together and we're going to go searching for some iron ore, and we'll do the 5th smelt, trying to do the 5th smelt. We have Eddie. We are heading towards 300 followers. Last time I checked, we were 21 followers away from 300. When we get to 300 followers, we will be doing a special UCS Lego build. So when that happens, we're doing a UCS Lego build. Hey Kiki, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. We're just closing off.
Group hug. Oh, do you mind if I kiss the monkey? Oh, hairball.
So yeah, we've got, when we hit 300 followers, we will do a special UCS Lego build. Then on the 13th of October, the day after Assassin's Creed Mirage comes out, we are going to be doing a Twitchiversary marathon. So as usual, we're going to start at 12 hours and see how much everybody adds to the timer and see how far we get through the game. Depending on the mark, the 24-hour mark, usually we'll call it at 24 hours. But if there's not a lot of game left, or we think we're getting towards the end of the game, we might finish the game anyway. One sitting. This is going to be interesting. So yeah, we've got that coming up on the 13th of October, and it's a bit of fun. I like the kismet of it, because it comes out on the 12th of October, but on the 13th of October is the day that one of the French kings basically took down the Order of Templars. It was the 13th of October, 18 something or other. No, 17, 16 something or other. But yes, Friday the 13th of October, and the day before that, so on the Thursday the 12th of October, the new Assassin's Creed game comes out, and they are finally back to Assassins and Templars. So that's going to be awesome. That's going to be a marathon. We'll be advertising a lot of that and seeing how that is. Do I have coffee drate left? I do have coffee drate left. There you go. Thank you for the coffee drate. I have coffee drate, hydrate, food drate, beef drate, all of the drates. I've got the drates. I would also like to do a special thank you for, so we're going to have to find, for the recipes. So for, we're going to have to look for a traditional, see if there even is a traditional Russian beef stroganoff. We're going to have to look at a beer trait. We're going to beer trait. We're going to have to look for a Brazilian style, which seems to be served with chips and rice. A Brazilian style strog. That's going to be interesting. And having a look at salo, which is a raw pig fat, cured raw pig fat, which I had courtesy of a Russian in Nepal, and it was just nom 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 nom. So we're going to have a go there. You missed everything. No! Because not the sister you love, the annoying sister dropped in. So yeah, we've got lots of things to do, lots of things to look up. Hopefully this weekend I'll start getting a bit more of, we'll start getting the recipes all organized back and forth with the YouTubes for recipes and such. So hopefully this weekend a lot of those will be going into the Discord. And we can start Ulrich's cookbook. Oh, that reminds me. Hang on, back in a sec. And we're back. So, The Cook's Companion by Stephanie Alexander. This thing, high floor fin, get those toes, buddy. Yeah. So this thing is freaking huge. I mean, look at how thick it is. It's thicker than my face, almost. Yeah, so this has descriptions of ingredients and then recipes of how to use them and all sorts of amazing things. So we are going to be eventually doing a whole heap of stuff out of that cookbook. So yeah, right. Definitely remove teeth with this one. Yes, that's my note pen. You can play with it. So this is going to be so we have tons of ideas for moving forward with Cooking Stream, which is the hard part for me. It's like I've done well and truly done the recipes that I know and am decent at, and I'm in so far into uncharted territory. Strog one I'm familiar with, that's fine, but some of the other stuff has just been amazing. So yeah, we've got lots of different stuff to try. You're on your phone instead of the stupid computer. Gore. So there we go. That is the day's stream. I'm going to call it there because I need to fall over. Everyone is reasonably well, Kiki. We are just finishing up. I'm just about to end stream. So you got here right at the end. We've had our beef strog. We've eaten up. We've done all the things. Nom 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 nom. So now it is time to go do the dishes. So yeah. So hopefully we will see everyone tomorrow for Valheim with Wardham. We'll be starting at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Scroll down to see when that is where you are. Yeah, I'm fine. It's just been a day. So, thank you everyone for joining me. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being here, even if it was only for a tiny little bit about a time. That's awesome that you can make it. So, thanks everyone for coming. Thanks for hanging out. Yes, you do have great timing. And hopefully until tomorrow, when I see you all again. So until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Don't forget to check the description for any links I may have left there. If you like the video, please press like or subscribe to my channel. Next video in the series is up here. Until then, stay safe, have fun.